Are you ready for this series, ladies and gentlemen? Because I don't know that I am. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin, and thank you very much for clicking on this video. Today marks the start of what could be one of, if not the most important series of the year so far for the Boston Red Sox. Now, we are going to be live streaming the very first game of this series tonight, right here on this channel, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Game starts at 7:10. This is going to be an incredibly fun game to watch, so make sure you guys are there. Again, 7 p.m. Eastern Time right here on this channel. But before that happens, we got to talk about what this series is lining up to be, and to do that, we got to set the stage here, because the Boston Red Sox have been cold lately. No other way to put it. They are coming into this thing losers of their last 3 games, just 3-7 in their last 10 games. Because of this, they have allowed the New York Yankees the opportunity to jump them in the standings, and that is exactly what they did, because while the Red Sox have scuffled, the Yankees have found their footing a little bit. Winners of their last 5 straight games, 8-2 in their last 10. Now the Yankees are 1.5 games ahead of the Sox for that top wild card standings. What this series could do on the either side of the ball here is it could create some separation, right? The Red Sox and Yankees, they've had a little bit of separation in the past, but they've been pretty closely linked since the Red Sox have started competing. One way or the other, if the Red Sox find a way to win this series, if the Yankees find a way to win this 4-game set, what they are doing is creating some legitimate separation between the two of them in this wild card standing with just over a month to go in the season. So it's pretty big stakes here if you're a Red Sox fan, right? And it's absolutely terrifying if you're a Red Sox fan, because, man, the Red Sox have been kind of wasting opportunities lately, and this is one they simply can't afford to waste. On top of that, the Kansas City Royals have found themselves on a bit of a hot streak as well, and are now just 3 games back of the Boston Red Sox for a wild card spot. If the Red Sox were to drop a majority of these games, there is a legitimate chance here that by the end of this series, the Red Sox aren't just separated from the Yankees, they're also separated from a wild card spot. And again, with just a month to go in the season, that's a really, really terrifying thought to think of. So, a lot of stakes at hand here. The stage has been set for an absolutely fantastic series in the Bronx here. But what should we expect from the Red Sox? What should we expect from the Yankees? And how are things lining up? Well, so far this season, when it comes to Red Sox-Yankees head-to-head matchups, it's been mostly a Red Sox show. The Red Sox are 5-1 against the Yankees this season. As a team, they are pitching to the tune of a 4 ERA even against them, allowing 27 runs, 24 of them earned in 54 innings. And even though that ERA is kind of mid, the Yankees overall are having a bit of a tough time doing some legitimate damage against the Boston Red Sox. They're hitting just .229 with a 300 on base percentage and a .383 slug for 684 OPS and a 77 OPS plus. The good news on the pitching side of things for the Red Sox is that they've got basically their 3 best arms going back to back to back to back here. And that's about as good as you can possibly wish for in a series as important as this. They start off with Lucas Giolito getting the ball with a solid 3.63 ERA on the season and a 1.247 whip. Somehow he's avoided facing the Yankees yet this season, so this will be his first time matching up with them this year. Then we get Brian Bayo, again, really solid this season, 3.23 ERA, a 1.258 whip, and a start this year against the Yankees in which he absolutely dominated. 7 innings, just 3 hits, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts, and no runs allowed. For the third game, we get the pig, Garrett Crochet, and we all know exactly how good Garrett Crochet has been this year, right? It's a 2.43 ERA with a 1.073 whip, has faced the Yankees twice this year. One of them wasn't super great. A lot of it had to do with BABIP luck. A lot of it had to do with Christian Campbell's defense over at second base in the Bronx, but the second game was an absolute show he put on and ended up, finishing off with that Aaron Judge home run, but for 9 innings, he was absolutely dominant. It equates to a 3.77 ERA overall. Now, there are 4 games in this series like I've been talking about. The Red Sox haven't announced their starter for Game 4 quite yet. On the schedule, it would be Dustin May. Maybe they have some other options that they're thinking about bringing up. I don't know. I don't know the reason why they haven't confirmed that Dustin May is going to be that 4th starter, but on the schedule at least lined up, it's Dustin May for Game 4 in the Bronx on Sunday night. On the other side of the ball here, the Red Sox have seen the Yankees pretty well from a hitting standpoint. This season, they're slashing .258 with a .355 on-base percentage and a .475 slug for an .830 OPS and a .140 OPS plus. Their top three hitters against the Yankees this season, the exact three hitters we'd all expect to be this good against the New York Yankees. You've got Romy Gonzalez, who has a 1.137 OPS against them this year, Abraham Toro, who has a 1.129 OPS against them this year, and of course, as we all know, Carlos Narvaez, who has a 1.084 OPS. This is also the first time all season the Red Sox, or really I guess since 2018, 2017, that the Red Sox have faced the New York Yankees without the help of Rafael Devers, who was just absolutely beat down on them in his career. So that's going to be an incredibly sort of interesting sub-storyline the Red Sox have to deal with here. In terms of who they're going up against, they're starting this thing off tonight against Luis Gil, who made his return to MLB earlier this month and has been pretty solid in 3 starts. He had a really bad first start back, but since then has been a solid pitcher for the Yankees. You've got Max Fried, who was dominant early on in this season, but has turned into absolute buns in the second half of the year. His first start against the Sox in that first half of the season, when he was really good, was 7 innings of 2-run baseball. The Red Sox ultimately ended up winning that game. Will Warren gets the third game, who the Sox got to, scoring 4 runs in 5 1/3 innings in their first appearance against them this season, and Carlos Rodon, who the Sox have scored 8 runs against in 10 innings. On paper, the Red Sox have a pretty favorable matchup here, right? They have their 3 best pitchers going. The Yankees probably have their 3 best pitchers going as well, but the Red Sox have had better success against their pitchers this season than the Yankees have had against our hitters this season. So on paper, things are looking pretty good for the Red Sox. However, there are some other factors that we need to take into account here. If you look at their seasons as a whole here, despite sort of a different path to getting to this point, both teams have been pretty similar in their season statistics so far. They're both much better at home than they are on the road, and because this series is in the Bronx, the Red Sox are 27-34 on the road this year, while the Yankees are 37-25 at home. Don't love that, right? Really, to be honest with you, I don't love the Red Sox anywhere not Fenway Park right now, especially the fact that they had a cold streak at Fenway. That makes me incredibly nervous, but at the same time, too, the Red Sox have gone into the Bronx already this season, and they did end up winning 2 out of 3 games, so they do have some experience winning baseball games in the Bronx, which is fantastic, so maybe that takes into some account here, but by all metrics, the Yankees are much better at home than the Red Sox are on the road. However, against similar opponents, at least opponents over 500 on the year so far, they're pretty much dead even. The Yankees are 32-32 on the year, while the Red Sox are 30-31. If you take a look at what they've done over the season as a whole, it's kind of interesting because, again, they're pretty much clashing head-to-head here. The Red Sox have a much better overall pitching staff this season than the New York Yankees do, throwing to the tune of a 3.75 ERA versus the Yankees for even ERA, but the Yankees have a much better offense so far, with a 785 OPS on the season versus the Red Sox 784 OPS. I mean, you want to talk about 2 giants going head-to-head and just exchanging blows one way or the other. This is exactly what we're talking about. Right, this is exactly what we're talking about. And you want to talk about, the Red Sox-Yankee rivalry dying a little bit over these last couple of years. It was in large part due to the fact that, 1, the Red Sox just simply weren't competitive enough for these games to really matter at the end of the season. But 2, it's also the fact that the Red Sox have kind of beat down on the Yankees throughout the entirety of the years, right? Even when they haven't been great teams, they played the Yankees really well. This season, not only are the Red Sox playing the Yankees really well, they're also legitimately competitive, right? Or at least they're legitimately competitive right now. This is a legitimate rivalry renewed type series where the Yankees are 1.5 games ahead of you. The Red Sox have owned the Yankees this season. There's bad blood on each side of these for different reasons. You're starting to sit here and you're like, oh my God, this is a really, really big series for this Red Sox team. And it's something we've been talking about for a little bit, but now that it's here, it's really starting to come clear that just how big this series actually is. Because for the Red Sox, this is about righting the ship. This is about sitting here and looking back not only on this season and trying to prove that between June and really the beginning of August here, honestly most of August, right, they're still a positive win team in the month of August right now, despite the pretty cold stretch they've been on lately, that wasn't a facade. right? That they didn't just get hot for a couple months, that they are a legitimately good team who has the ability to legitimately compete against not only people in this division, but people who are going to most likely be in a postseason spot. They are getting their chance right here, right now, and it's legitimately, it feels like make or break for the Boston Red Sox, right? It feels like, and I know that sounds ridiculous to say because at the end of the day, it's still have a month to go in this season, right? Even if you get swept against the New York Yankees, you could get really hot the rest of the way here and end up still in a postseason spot. But with the way the Red Sox have been playing lately, with the sort of the storylines that have been surrounding them, with this sort of, oh my God, they were just hot for a couple of months, with the, oh my God, here we go again, right? The Red Sox have kind of collapsed in the second half 3 years in a row at this point. Are we about to see a fourth? Is all of this just for absolutely nothing? Hey, football season's on. I'm just going to start turning my attention towards them, right? All of a sudden, you've got all these things sort of compiling on top of this Red Sox team, and we've been waiting for this sort of moment where they hammer it home. Right? We've been sort of teetering on this is a good team and this is a team that you believe in and this is a team that's talented, should be in the postseason. But we've been waiting on that moment to sit there and say this team is going to be there and they are going to compete. This is their opportunity to make that point clear. This is their opportunity to prove something, not only to themselves, but to everyone who's doubted them so far this year. And I don't know about you, but in terms of games in August, this feels just about as big as it could possibly be. Again, you go into this series and you win it, you're proving something to everyone. You're also taking over that top wildcard spot in the AL with just a month to go in the season. Every single game now is incredibly important, and this is your opportunity to take advantage of a head-to-head matchup that you don't always get going forward throughout the rest of the year. If you come in here and you lay an egg and you lose 3 out of 4 or 4 out of 4, well then things and narratives and discussions and trajectories, they could all start to really turn a corner here and not in a very good way. In my opinion, the Red Sox need at bare minimum to split this series, right? You still have another series against the Yankees, so this isn't the end-all be-all. If you can get out of this just simply in the same position that you were in before, I think that's ultimately a win. Obviously, I think best case scenario here is you win this series. I mean, best case scenario is you sweep all 4 games, cement yourself as a legitimate top competitor in the AL East, and crush the Yankees probably back down to either the bottom wild card spot or 1 game out of the postseason. But you know what? Don't ask too much. Right? Don't expect too much. Just simply come in there, play good baseball, be the team that we have seen over these past 2 months and not the team we have seen over these past couple of weeks. Prove to yourselves that you are a legitimate competitor, and let's go out there and let's crush some Yankee skulls. I think that's a pretty easy plan to go in there with, right? Let's just absolutely beat down on this Yankees team. Man, I am nervous. I'm a little bit scared, right? But I'm also psyched. This is why we watch baseball, right? This is why we watch baseball, because I sit here and my entire body is aching just waiting for this series to start. So, I mean, at the bare minimum, the good news here is that the Red Sox have been competitive enough to this point in the season where these series legitimately could decide how the Red Sox end up in all of this. Over the past couple of years, that hasn't really been the case, right? It's been, hey, if there's some Hail Mary miracle that takes place, maybe this series means something, especially at the end of August, but in all reality, it really didn't mean much. Now it does. All of a sudden, this rivalry that has been called the greatest rivalry in sports feels like it's starting to ignite again. So I'm excited for it. I'm nervous about it, but I want your opinions. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below about what you're thinking going into this Yankees series. Who are you favoring? What are you thinking about the matchups? Let me know everything. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. It just simply helps out a ton. Best way to let me know you're enjoying the content. Don't forget, if you guys want to listen instead of watch, all you got to do is head over to your favorite podcasting app and look up Red Seat Radio. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you tonight, hopefully with some good news, and as always, in the red seats.